They called him my sugar daddy. Then he revealed the heartbreaking truth that shocked everyone. Every one of your subscriptions encourages us to keep showing up. Please subscribe and let us know where you're watching from. It's always a pleasure to see. That's how it started, with whispers. Small, harmless at first, like a draft sneaking through a half-closed window. But by the end of that semester, it became a storm that nearly destroyed my life. I was 21, a final year at Brookvale University, the kind of school where appearance was currency and rumor was blood sport. Every day, I walked past girls wearing designer sneakers their boyfriends couldn't afford, and boys flashing fake luxury watches to impress them. But nothing caught attention like me stepping out of that black Mercedes. It always happened around 4:30 p.m., right after my media ethics class. I'd walk out quietly, clutching my bag, praying nobody was watching. And then he'd pull up, sleek, silent, tinted glass gliding down just enough for me to see his eyes. Mr. Hale. Gray hair, expensive suits. The kind of man people stared at not because of how he looked, but because of the weight he carried when he moved. He'd nod once, never smiling, and say the same thing every time. "Get in, princess." I hated that word, princess. But I said nothing. I'd just slide into the back seat, trying to avoid the sea of stairs around the parking lot. By the time we left campus, the whispers were already chasing behind us. At first, I told myself it didn't matter. People always talked. But soon, the talk began to grow legs and claws. Someone posted a picture of me getting into his car on Twitter, captioning it, "When your dad's age lover pays your tuition, #SugarBabyLife." Within hours, it hit 3,000 retweets. By morning, I was trending. I didn't leave my hostel for 3 days. Every notification was a new insult. Campus gold digger, daddy's pet, Mercedes girl. Even my closest friends started avoiding me, afraid that being seen with me would stain them. Lecturers gave me strange looks. Some male professors, the ones who once ignored me, suddenly smiled too easily. One day, my roommate, Anita, came back from class humming. Phone in hand, eyes glinting with mischief. "You know, you could just own it," she said casually. "There's nothing wrong with being kept, babe. At least he's rich." I looked up from my notes. "He's not..." But she cut me off with a smirk. "Please, everyone knows. The way he calls you princess, the envelopes you hide in your drawer, the perfume, it's obvious." That night, while I cried silently, she was editing something on her phone. I didn't know it then, but that single decision would ruin everything. 2 days later, I woke up to chaos. Someone had tagged me in a TikTok. The video, me, in my floral dress, walking into Mr. Hale's car. The caption, "When your dad's age lover picks you up after class, #SugarBabyChronicles, #CampusLife." The sound playing in the background, Sugar by Maroon 5. It had over 600K views by midnight. Comments flooded in, strangers laughing, calling me shameless, people from my department stitching the video, mocking me. I stared at the screen until my eyes blurred. That's when the email came from the university board. "You have been placed on temporary suspension pending investigation into a moral misconduct complaint." Just like that. No hearing, no defense, just judgment, wrapped in an official letterhead.
I went to Mr. Hale's office the next morning. It was the first time I'd seen him outside the car. His office was on the 14th floor of the Hale Energy building. Marble floors, glass walls, and silence that echoed power. He was standing by the window when I walked in, back straight, hands behind him. "They suspended me," I said, voice trembling. "Because of you." He turned slowly. His face didn't change. "I know," he said. "I heard." "You heard?" I snapped. "You knew and didn't call? You don't even care that my life is falling apart?" His jaw tightened. "I told you not to let people's noise get to you." I laughed bitterly. "People's noise? They think I'm sleeping with you, Mr. Hale. They've destroyed me." He exhaled long and low. Then quietly, "Then maybe it's time they knew the truth." "What truth?" I asked. But before he could answer, his eyes rolled back, his hand clutched his chest, and he collapsed. The next moments were chaos. People running, phones dialing emergency numbers. I knelt beside him, screaming his name, but his lips were blue. At the hospital, the smell of antiseptic clung to everything. Machines beeped in uneven rhythm. They said it was a heart attack. I sat outside the ICU, hands shaking, when a woman stormed in, tall, elegant, eyes full of fury. "Where is he?" she demanded. The nurse pointed to the ICU door. Then the woman turned to me, her gaze cut like a blade. "You," she hissed. "You're the reason he's here." Before I could react, her palm struck my face, hard, sharp, echoing through the hallway. "You're killing him," she cried. "Just like you killed her." I froze. Killed who? But she was already walking away, tears spilling down her face. I sat there, hand on my cheek, feeling the sting of her slap and the burn of confusion spreading through my chest. I didn't know it yet, but that night, everything I thought I knew about Mr. Hale and my life was about to unravel. They said heart monitors beep in rhythm with life, that when the sound breaks, so does something inside you. I never believed that until the night I watched Mr. Hale fight for breath under white hospital lights. The man they said was my sugar daddy was lying there, pale, trembling, tubes in his veins, and for the first time, he looked human, fragile, mortal, and it terrified me. For 2 days, I barely slept. The hospital corridor became my second home. The nurses began to recognize me. The girl in the blue sweater, always waiting. Each hour that passed, guilt pressed heavier on my chest. Every headline, every meme, every cruel laugh, all I could think was, what if the stress I caused him brought this on? On the third night, a doctor finally said, "He's awake, but you should keep it short." When I entered the room, he turned his head slowly toward me. His skin looked waxy under the light, but his eyes, sharp, gray, unreadable, still had that quiet authority. I wanted to scream, cry, or hug him, but I just stood there, my voice breaking. "I can't keep doing this. Everyone thinks I'm sleeping with you. I've lost everything, my reputation, my school, my peace." He didn't answer immediately. He just looked at me, the way someone looks when they're measuring how much truth the world can handle. Then he said softly, "Then maybe it's time they knew the truth." I frowned. "What truth?" But before he could speak, his chest began to rise unevenly. The monitor beside him started to wail. "Sir? Mr. Hale?"
The nurses rushed in, pushing me aside. The door slammed in my face. I could only watch through the glass, helpless, as doctors shouted orders, as his body shook under the weight of the defibrillator's jolt. Then, silence. The kind that freezes time.
When the door finally opened, a nurse said, "He's stable again. You need to wait outside." But before I could move, I heard the echo of heels down the hallway. I turned, and there she was again, the same woman who had slapped me days earlier, his wife. This time, she wasn't crying. She was burning. "Are you happy now?" she spat. "You've drained him dry. You've taken his peace, his name, and now his life. Ma'am, please." But she stepped closer, her perfume sharp, her voice shaking with rage. "You're killing him just like you killed her." That word again. Her. I froze. Who are you talking about?" She laughed bitterly, tears spilling anyway. "Don't you dare pretend. He may forgive you, but I won't. I see right through your act, you pathetic little liar." And before I could get another word out, she walked away, leaving the sound of her heels like nails down my spine. That night, I sat outside his room, staring at the tiled floor. The question wouldn't stop repeating in my mind. Killed who? I thought about my mother, gone since I was 16, a car crash that shattered everything I knew about safety. I thought about my father, the one man I only had memories of through faded photos and half-told stories. And for some reason, something about what his wife said made my stomach twist, like two pieces of a puzzle were trying to fit, but couldn't. The next morning, I found the courage to go back in. He was awake, breathing slowly. I sat beside him, gripping the edge of the chair. "I need you to tell me," I whispered. "What did she mean? Who did I kill? What truth were you going to tell me?" For a long time, he said nothing, just the steady beep, beep, beep of the machine beside us. Then finally, he looked at me, really looked at me, and his voice broke. "I should have told you everything a long time ago." His eyes glistened. "You're not who you think you are." My heart stuttered. "What are you talking about?" He coughed, grimacing from pain, then whispered, "I'm not your sugar daddy, child. I'm your father's best friend, and you were supposed to be my daughter." The world stopped spinning. I stared at him, searching for a lie. "What?" He nodded slowly. "Your father and I, we built Hale Energy together, from nothing. We were brothers in all but blood. When he died, I made a promise to him. My hands were shaking. My father died in an accident." He cut me off gently. "No, he didn't. That's what they told your mother, to protect you, but it wasn't an accident." I couldn't breathe. "What are you saying?" He sighed, eyes closing. "There were business disagreements, dangerous ones, people who wanted him out. Your mother knew more than she should have. When she started asking questions, they silenced her too." I felt cold all over. My mother's car crash wasn't random? He whispered, "Wasn't. I couldn't protect her, but I swore I'd protect you." I sat there, speechless. The walls of the hospital seemed to pulse around me. Everything I'd known about my life was suddenly a lie. My father's death, my mother's story, even this man I thought I hated. He continued, voice trembling. "I've been sending you those envelopes for years. Tuition, housing, everything. All from your father's shares. I just couldn't do it openly. My wife would have ruined it all." She threatened to expose my affair from years ago if I ever helped you." He looked down, ashamed. "The car rides, the meetings, it was all to manage the transfers quietly. You were never my secret. You were my responsibility." Tears blurred my vision. I could barely speak. "Why didn't you just tell me?" His answer came like a whisper carried by regret. "Because you looked at me with hate, and I thought maybe you'd rather believe the lie than know the pain of the truth." Outside, rain began to fall. Slow, steady, like the world was grieving with me. I sat by his bed, watching his chest rise and fall, feeling everything collapse and rebuild at the same time. He reached for my hand, weak but certain. "There's more," he said. "The rest of your inheritance, I'm signing it over to you. I don't have much time left." I froze. "What do you mean?" He smiled faintly. "Cancer. It's everywhere now. I hid it because I didn't want pity." My throat closed up. "No, you can't." But he squeezed my hand. "You're strong, just like your father. Promise me, you'll finish school. Promise me, you'll live. That's all I ever wanted."
That night, I walked out of the hospital into the rain, letting it soak through my clothes. For the first time, I didn't care who was watching. The world thought he was my sugar daddy, but the truth? He was the only man who ever kept his promise to my family. And that truth, as painful as it was, broke me in ways gossip never could. I don't know how long I sat in that rain. Time lost meaning that night. Every drop that hit my face felt like the world washing away pieces of a lie I'd lived my whole life. I'd spent months hiding from gossip, but now I wanted to scream the truth to the world. He wasn't my sugar daddy. He was the man who tried to give me back the life his silence once cost me. But he was also dying, and there were still questions, too many of them, clawing for air. The next morning, I went back to the hospital. The air in his room smelled of disinfectant and despair. He looked worse, pale, sunken eyes, the kind of frailty that makes you afraid to speak too loudly. I told my lawyer to prepare the transfer. "Your father's shares. They're rightfully yours. You'll see my name on the papers. But the company, it was never meant to be mine alone." I swallowed hard. Why now? Why wait until it was too late? He smiled faintly. "Because I thought I had time. We all think we do, until the clock runs out." I wanted to argue, to say something to stop him from fading, but I couldn't. The weight of everything he'd confessed, the debt, the company, my parents' deaths, had pressed the words out of me. Then he said something that changed everything again. "Your father didn't die because of business," he whispered. "He died because he discovered something. The company was being used for darker things, funds disappearing offshore, illegal contracts. He tried to expose it." He took a shallow breath. Before he could, his car went off the bridge. I froze. "Are you saying someone killed him?" He nodded weakly. "Yes, and that's why I stayed silent. I wanted to protect you. But silence has a way of becoming its own kind of guilt." When I left his room, I could barely walk. My head spun with betrayal, grief, and relief all at once. Everything that made me a joke on the internet was built on the ruins of a cover-up. I found myself standing outside the hospital, watching people rush past, unaware that one of the city's most respected men
was dying under the weight of secrets too heavy for one lifetime. And then, as if fate hadn't taken enough, I saw her, Mrs. Hale. She was standing by her car, phone pressed to her ear, sunglasses hiding her eyes, but her voice, sharp, controlled, venom wrapped in silk, carried through the wind. "Make sure the transfer doesn't go through. I don't care what the lawyer says. If those documents reach her, we're finished." I froze. Finished? Something cold twisted in my gut. She was trying to stop him, to stop me. That night, I called the lawyer myself. His name was Mr. Jennings, an older man with a voice that sounded weary from years of confidentiality. He hesitated at first, but when I mentioned the hospital and the inheritance, he sighed deeply. "Your father's shares were absorbed into Hale Energy's private accounts years ago. Mr. Hale has been trying to recover them discreetly, but his wife, well, she's fought every attempt." "Why?" I asked. He paused. "Because if the records resurface, certain people, including her, might be implicated in your father's death." My heart dropped.
The next morning, I went to see Mr. Hale again, determined to tell him what I'd overheard. But when I arrived, his bed was empty.